standings.
Yep, so the Panthers secure the minor premiership with a week to spare as they head into the finals as the top side. Storm will finish in second, Roosters are third, ahead of the Eels on points difference. Both have 28 points. Roosters are probably safe in second, in the second chance top four, but Eels could be overtaken at the last by the Raiders, who in fifth have 26 points and a better points difference than the Eels. The Knights have 23, Rabbitohs have 22, and the Sharks 20. Sharks are destined to finish eighth with their inferior points difference, but the two above them in the league could swap spots. So Titans are winning the best of the rest race on 16. Then it comes West Tigers, Sea Eagles, and Warriors on 14. Dragons on 12, and Cowboys have 8. Bulldogs with 6 are off the bottom on points difference, with the Broncos dropping to last place and the aforementioned spoon.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't bode well for the Broncos. I don't know if they've ever finished last before.
No, I don't think they have. No, I think the Bulldogs play the Panthers. And the Panthers have got nothing to play for, so it's entirely possible the Panthers will play a second 17. So the Bulldogs might even win their last match. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, but I mean the big Queensland derby is the Broncos' last match with the Cowboys. But we'll that's a nice way to lead into where we will talk a bit more about what NRL action is coming up next week, as well as the next round of Super League action as we move into our predictions. Okay, we're into round 13 of the Super League. Unlucky for some, but not for Rugby League fans, because 13 is all of our favourite number. But yeah, we assume all these games are going to be going ahead as it stands. Obviously, that is always subject to change these days. And we're also seeing it across other sports now. So any only in Rugby League twats out there, that was a bit strong, wasn't it? That was a bit strong. I don't know what overcame me there. But anyone who thinks that way needs to have a head check, because clearly it's happening across the board in lots of other sports now, which is not good to see. But, you know, we're not alone as Rugby League in this. And we seem to be getting getting things going quite... I worked out the other day, we've actually only missed 4 games so far. In the way that it's actually been.
I'm glad you left that proviso in.
Yeah, the way that it's been worked out, though, we've only actually missed 4 games so far, with the way that the clubs have been flexible and managed to fit other fixtures in and move things around a bit, which is a credit to the league and to the clubs.
Yeah,
that we've only missed 4 games so far, given how many positive COVID tests and how much test and trace impacts, especially, that has had. Mm-hmm. Anyway, hopefully we only miss 4. You know, we don't miss any more, and we can catch up some of those. But this week, Thursday, 2:45 p.m. Afternoon game available on our league for season tickets of holders of Hull KR versus Leeds, but no one else, unfortunately. But yeah, do you want to? It's a repeat of the cup game. Jordan Abdul's still missing for Hull KR, and a few more injuries that they picked up against Leeds as well. This in the cup game last week. I don't see anything other than a Leeds win by double digits, so I'll go Leeds by 18.
Where are they playing on Thursday?
That's a good question. Halliwell Jones Stadium, Warrington is the host of the matches this week.
Okay. Not that that'll make a difference.
No, it's another long coach ride for Hull KR, I suppose.
Yeah,
plays a part, doesn't it? They've had 3 in a row.
Injuries are starting to bite. As you say, they're missing players through their stupid actions. Yeah, I can't see anyone but Leeds. I'm going to go Leeds by 14.
Okay, move on to 6 p.m. Thursday, where it's a game we can all see on Sky, as well as the season ticket holders being able to get a hold of it on our league. And it's Hull FC versus Salford, the the matchup that was seen in the first week after resumption when Hull FC were embarrassed by a Salford team that were on fire at that stage. Hull have been a bit up and down since then, and so have Salford. So what do you think on this one?
Yeah. Everything tells me it's going to be a Salford win. So I'm going FC by 8.
Well, Jamie Shaw's back in, isn't he, for Salford, and a bit more experience in the pack
help.
with Josh Bowden being back in. So I'm leaning towards Hull FC as well on this one. I kind of think Evolds obviously is still out for Salford, and while Sargentson was excellent in patches last week, there's mistakes in him. I think they'll have a more settled look to their spine for Hull FC, and they'll want to show that they're not as pathetic as they were.
I can't see him playing as bad again.
No, so I'm going to go Hull FC. Let's go Hull FC by 4. I don't think it'll be... it could be one-sided in the end, but I can't see that anyone being that much better than the other side other than it might blow out sort of thing. So that's what I'll do. I'll go Hull FC by 4, but they could win by 20 in the end, these games, as they seem to pan out these days. You're Hull FC as well then, so we're all the same so far. 8:15 kickoff, the final game on Thursday, Castleford versus Huddersfield. Now let's, because we can get the Thursday teams in when we do it on Tuesday. We won't be doing it on Tuesday next week, by the way, guys, because there's games on Tuesday next week. But we'll develop on the hop with that. But Cass, key in return for Cass is Gareth O'Brien, who was cup-tied when they last played in the Challenge Cup a week ago, and also Jesse Stenny-Lefeo is back in. But Peter Matautia, alongside Jake Truman, players are out, whilst Lee Gaskell comes back in for Huddersfield. So a few things to mull over there from that point of view.
Oh god, this is a tricky one, but I'm going to go with Cass on the basis that if they want to finish in the top 4, they've got to win these matches. So I'm going to say Cass in a narrow one, Cass by 4.
Gareth O'Brien being back in is big for Cass, but he might have to play in the halves with Matautia and Truman both being out. So that's a bit of a juggling act for Cass to deal with. I think Huddersfield's little bump from the coaching change doesn't normally only last 1 week. It normally lasts about 5 or 6 weeks, and then they lull again for 18 months. So I just like the look of the side that Huddersfield are putting together. The only one question mark is they've left Reece Butterworth out, but they've brought in, I suppose that just means Holmes will play more, and he's got a point to prove against Cass for being an ex-Cass man. I'm going to go Huddersfield by 10. I don't know why I've gone for Huddersfield, really, but I have. There you go.
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe because I just enjoy seeing Daryl Powell miserable. Anyway, into Friday's games, we don't have the lineup. We don't have the squad lineups for these ones yet, unfortunately. But it starts at 6 p.m. Warrington versus Catalans. Catalans have had a couple of bad performances strung together. Now I feel that the big loss to Wigan and the disappointing performance against Salford, whereas Warrington will be absolutely flying high with that win against St Helens. It's still a tough one to pick, though, because Catalans clearly have something that they're capable of. It's just they haven't delivered the last couple of matches. Warrington, will they be complacent after their big win heading into the Challenge Cup as well the week after? That's the other thing we've got to consider about these games, especially the Friday games, is these teams all play again next week on Wednesday, don't they? On Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Actually, Cass plays on the Thursday, don't they? Cass against... I'm going to have to get up the fixtures for round 14. Cass and Hull FC play on the Thursday, so they get the longest turnaround. But Salford and Warrington... So Warrington play again on the Tuesday after this match. against Salford, who they're going to play twice in 5 days. With that in mind, I think Warrington will have to make a few changes. But when they made changes the other week, they did well. But that was when they were forced into the back against the wall COVID situation. This is more squad rotation. I don't know if it'll have the same impact. I'm going to go Catalans in a surprise upset. Catalans by 2.
Warrington are at home. I think they'll probably. I think both Warrington and Salford are basically going to play almost entirely different 17s in the midweek. I really do. I'll stick with Warrington. Played very well last week. Warrington by 10.
Okay, and then Friday 8:15, it's Wigan versus Wakefield. So just to kind of give a looking ahead situation. Wakefield don't have a game in round 14. They'll be playing against the Leeds in a catch-up game in a few weeks' time in another one of the windows. But they're going to have a nice spell off again here, which seems weird. So that's how it seems to be, though. Whereas Wigan will be playing on Friday night and then playing again on Tuesday against St Helens on Tuesday. So I have a feeling Wigan are going to rest people in this one, whereas Wakefield will be bringing back David Fafita. Eddie Batty obviously had a strong performance on his debut. That means their forward pack is much stronger. Wigan may want to see if Brad Singleton can go around in this one, and Ben Flower will be back from his suspension, so that's some extra forward options for Wigan too, to kind of balance that out maybe. I'm not going to go against Wigan, even though I think they'll have to ring a few changes. I think Wigan are one of the sides that have got the squad to do it. I'm going to go Wigan by 10.
I'm going to stick with Wigan because Wakefield, even all the things you've said, they've got Nafal to play for. Wigan by 6.
Okay, and then our final round in the NRL for Brit Watch picks before we focus fully on the finals. It's round 20 of the NRL. Broncos versus Cowboys, Thursday at 10:50 a.m. Do you think the Broncos are going to be able to overcome? I mean, that's just 2 losers, isn't it? This year, the way it's gone. Do you think the Broncos will manage to save some grace and win their final game and maybe not get the spoon?
Good old-fashioned cripple fight. No, I think the Cowboys will love rubbing their face in it. So Cowboys for me on that one.
Yeah. Rabbitohs versus Roosters Friday at 10:55 a.m. The Rabbitohs could need this one to stay in 6th, but all that really means is that they play at home against the Knights rather than away against the Knights in the first round of the finals, whereas the Roosters maybe need it to secure 3rd rather than 4th. And that will mean a game against the Storm rather than the Panthers. Roosters, probably. But the Rabbits do need to pick up after last week, so we'll see. Saturday at 6 a.m, Bulldogs versus the Panthers. Do you think Luke Thompson can finish the season in some style against the minor premiers who potentially will rest some guys up?
I just don't see the Panthers playing anybody. Panthers have been on such an unbeaten run, it's almost like they need to get a loss out the way. I'm going to go for Bulldogs, assuming that the Panthers basically play a second string 17.
I still think the Panthers' second string will beat the Bulldogs' first string this year.
Maybe.
Sharks versus Raiders Saturday at 8:30 a.m. The Raiders could do with a nice win in this one, like a healthy win, because that's the only way they could see themselves overcome the Eels to get into the top 4. So, and I think that'll happen. I think the Raiders will win by 3 clear scores.
Yeah, Raiders are much better team than the Sharks.
Potentially, these two teams could be playing each other the week after as well, of course, depending on how things go elsewhere, with Raiders likely to finish in 5th, especially if the Eels win their final match, which is against the West Tigers. Of course, West will need to win that to finish in their customary 9th, though. And,
so they will.
Yeah. But make sure you do send in your fan reviews on all of those matches and any other rugby league you happen to watch. There's not much more rugby league that you can happen to watch at the moment, unfortunately. But get in your fan reviews so we've got stuff to talk about next week. Right, we're going to move on now into the wrap-up and do our quiz.